Hello, great people of YouTube. There's going to be a slight change of plans. I have decided to not talk about the seventh and final relationship that I was in. Honestly, I'm still trying to get a feel for it as far as what I felt, what we went through, and a lot of it is still fresh. Now, I will say, unlike previous relationships, things didn't end poorly. It was more of situation didn't allow us to continue a relationship, understandably. I probably will make a video in the future, but for now, I'm still trying to process everything that happened, and just trying to collect a conclusion as to how everything went, how it ended, and how I felt about it all. I'm going to do one last video of relationship 3 and 6. I took a few days off to think about additional things that I wanted to say. I actually wrote them down. So this is that video. Hopefully it doesn't take that long. So we left off with we're not on talking terms anymore. She has a boyfriend, at least so she claims, which I don't believe her. And she is moving to Texas, leaving Colorado. So a few things that I didn't mention in previous videos that further made our relationship complicated was when I came back into her life back in 2021. We became good friends, and this was right before we decided to date for a second time. And one of the things that she confessed to me is she Facebook stalked me. She would check up on me on my Facebook. We weren't Facebook friends, but everything was still public on my end, which, by the way, I don't have a Facebook anymore. But she would still check up on me. She would see the retirement ceremonies I was doing, all the places I was going. She saw the deployment. She probably knew more about the deployment before we met in 2021 than what I told her, just based off of the pictures. To make matters worse is when we both moved to Colorado, I suspected her of stalking me in person. And I do have not really so much evidence, but personal situations that were very odd to me. For example, for 2023, she would stop going to church. But then one day she would show up to church. Now, that's not really stalking, but when you have a fallout with someone and they stop going to church for over 6 months and they just show up one day randomly, it is a little suspicious. And that was only one time, and they never came back to church ever again. The other thing is we were doing burns at the training grounds, and right as we were finishing, I look over and there she is standing outside of the training grounds. There was a gated fence, and there she is standing there, and it was really weird. And you just can't help but think, like, what are you doing here? Why are, if you know I'm a firefighter and you know that I work here, and you know that, like, we're obviously here doing training, why are you here watching us? That is very weird. There were times where I thought I saw her at both my old and new apartment. I can't 100% confirm that. This might be me being paranoid, but there were times where she drives a Scion. Now, don't get me wrong, Scions are really cool cars, and I think they're very reliable. The unfortunate thing is every time I see a Scion, whether if it's her specific car or just a Scion in general, I get really defensive. I guess you can say it's like a trigger. But she drives a silver Scion, and every time I see a silver Scion, I can't help but think that's her. I have more examples of stalking, but honestly, I can't think of them at the moment. But those were some very weird incidences that I've came across. Another thing that happened was I did have a few female friends during the year that we didn't talk. And two of them expressed a romantic interest in me. And because I was so biased towards Christy, I left my relationship seat, my relationship throne open for her. So when it was proposed to me, hey, I want a romantic relationship with you from two other female friends at different times, similar, very close, within weeks of each other, different times, but within weeks, I would give a bunch of excuses. Oh, I'm busy with college. Oh, I'm busy with work. Oh, you just money problems. Oh, excuses. And one of them was very upset, understandably, and we ended up being friends. But the other person was just kind of like, you have all these problems, and I know how busy you are. And rather than trying to make it work, you're just going to spit out excuses. And it was as if I hit a brick wall, as if I was slapped with logic. And I was like, I didn't admit it, but in my head, you're right. I was giving excuses. I didn't even give you the chance to work this out. I didn't give you the chance to fix this. And here I am spewing excuses. And I realized that Christy and technically Angel, if not a lot of ex-girlfriends of mine, same thing. I go along in a relationship thinking things are great until the woman starts being distant. And then all of a sudden I'm presented with a bunch of problems that were never presented to me. And rather than coming to me with those problems to talk out, to fix, the solution that I keep getting is, you are a piece of shit, you're toxic, I'm leaving. And never given me the chance to fix it. Never given me the chance to work it out. And in that moment, I realized that these people, these exes, are giving the same exact excuses that I gave to this individual right now. And I feel called out for it, and this was also one of those moments of double standards. Why is it you people can get all mad at me and give excuses and not give me the chance to fix this or talk things out, but when I do it, whoo, buddy, I got slapped with reality. I got slapped with accountability. And I got to be mindful of that moving forward. But I probably should have been probably should have done the more mature thing and said simply I wasn't interested. For other reasons that I probably shouldn't have shared or wouldn't have shared. So we're already on to final notes and closing words in regards to Christy. It's very sad because, like I said in the last video, when things work, things really worked. And I felt very happy. I felt very appreciated. I felt very, very valued and very loved. I can say the same thing about other exes, but because this ex was the most, potent emotionally, I definitely lost my why. I worked very hard trying to get jobs, and even when I did get a job, trying very hard to maintain that job, progress in my job, trying to show her that I'm a hard worker, I can be a provider. And when she left, I lost a little bit of my why. And kind of bringing back the male loneliness epidemic, one of the reasons why men are struggling now is they need something to fight for. Well, my reason to fight kind of just left. Sure, I can fight for my God, but the way I see it is my faith is one of guidance and not so much strength. But we'll talk about that in another video. I not only lost a potential future wife or future potential partner, but I also did lose a best friend. I did lose a good friend. I did, like I mentioned, I did lose my why. I have to figure out now what's my next thing to fight for. I have a hard time fighting for myself. I consider myself expendable. It's not that I don't love myself. I have definitely been through a lot, that I respect myself for all the hard work that I put into, but I also look at, well, why did I put in all that hard work? Well, it wasn't for you. It was for the mission. It was for patriotism. It was for America. It was for the military. It was for maybe a good coworker or a supervisor that has mentored me. But it was also for love. It was for companionship. It was for being valued and appreciated more than just work. To show that, look at all the things that I can do for not just you, but like our kids. But I did lose a friend. And what sucks is, as of the time of recording, our mutual friend Anderson, using fake name, is pretty much the only friend that I have left here in Colorado. And it is very difficult for me to continue to make friendships, just because I look at the other friendships that I've made here in Colorado and they've only lasted a few months, unfortunately. And again, that going back to the last video, it's due to lack of interest, people being busy, people having different obligations. And I get that. But it just seems to be everyone. And this person, Christy, seemed to have had a lot of free time, a lot of interest, until it simply wasn't a priority anymore. For, again, reasons I don't know. But that's on her. My final words for her is I do wish her the best. I know that she's going to go out and do a lot of great things. It is sad. I do wish I was going to be a part of those great things. I wish I was going to witness those great things. But she is going to go off and do them herself. And she will do good things for our military. And as for me, I'll tell the audience what I've told my father is, even though I didn't hear from her this past year, knowing that she was still around, knowing that there might have been potential, kept me on my toes. I had a foundation, and even though that foundation was cracking and falling apart, and it was driving me mentally crazy, where did we stand? How is she doing? Now that that is all gone, now that that is done, the why is gone, my friend is gone, the future is gone, I cannot help but stand on a boat in the middle of a calm ocean and look around and go, now what? Well, you still have work. Yeah, I do. Who is this for? For me? I don't value myself to carry on. Work. I do. I want to work on my ones. I want to be a crew chief someday. But it never really worked for me before. For those of you who have been paying attention with all the videos that I've made, and we're on relationship number 6 and 3 right now, and we're not going to talk about number 7 just yet. I'm averaging, ever since I joined the military, I'm averaging about 1 relationship a year. Averaging. Every year of my adult life, I've had someone to fight for. And for once, I have to fight for myself. Seems very odd. I've never done that before. And when I do it, I'm usually depressed. Usually a little lost. Who am I doing this for? well, you're doing this not just for yourself, but you're doing this for your future wife and your future kids. What future wife and future kids? No one's here. And of course, people can argue that, well, you haven't met her yet. Okay. I don't know. I guess I'm the kind of guy that needs to see the light at the end of the tunnel. Do it for your God. Well, the problem with, and we'll talk about this in my faith video, is, do it for my God. Well, like I said, not only do I see him as a tool for guidance in life, but sometimes I just don't know what God wants. I'll admit to the audience right now that, yes, I want to be a firefighter. Yes, I work hard at being a firefighter, but now I'm at a road where, well, maybe I want to do a career change. Maybe I want to do something else. Maybe I want to do something that will preserve my physical and mental health. Firefighting is honestly getting a little overwhelming with me. Not physically, but academically. There's a lot of things you need to know about firefighting. I get off topic. I hope she does well. I hope she'll go out and do good things. I do hope that she gets over her depression. I hope she gets over her anxiety. I do hope that she ends up being happy. It just sucks because it seems like with a lot of my exes, go and be free, but at the cost of my happiness. You made me happy. And this is one of those very tough situations where I have to realize, don't cry that it's over, happy that it happened. And I'm pretty sure I've said this before, but, why did it have to end? Why did something have to end when it was completely avoidable or fixable? For the next video, I'll be talking about a disclaimer about relationships. It's going to be its own video. And then I have a video on modern dating. I probably will have 2 of those videos. And then I was going to go into all the places that I wanted to live, but after some reconsidering, I decided I want to talk about my beliefs next to give the audience an idea of where I want to live and why with the things that I believe in. Stay tuned, those videos are coming out soon.